Welcome back to Cowboys Nation Report, where passion meets truth and where we, the fans, get raw and real about America's team. And today, Cowboys Nation, we've got a story that's not just about football. It's about identity, leadership, risk, and how this team chooses to face adversity. Buckle up, because the Dallas Cowboys are once again at the center of a storm. Let's lay it out. The Cowboys suffered a devastating setback in Week 3 when CeeDee Lamb, the heartbeat of this offense, went down with a high ankle sprain. He was supposed to be the spark, the guy Dak Prescott leans on when the pocket collapses, the guy who can turn a short slant into a 30-yard gain, the guy defensive coordinators have nightmares about. Now, instead of catching passes, he's catching rehab sessions. Jerry Jones has already hinted that Lamb could be placed on injured reserve, meaning at least 4 games without our all-pro receiver. That changes everything. Without Lamb, the receiver room shifts dramatically. George Pickens, brought in from Pittsburgh in that bold off-season trade, suddenly has the WR1 mantle draped over his shoulders. He's talented, physical, and plays with swagger, but he's also inconsistent. Just ask anyone who saw that brutal drop against the Bears that turned into an interception. Next in line is Jalen Tolbert, stepping into the number 2 spot, while KaVontae Turpin becomes a bigger factor. These guys have potential, but potential doesn't win games on its own. It has to translate into production, into points, into wins. So here comes the noise. Reports and rumors swirling around the league suggest the Cowboys could make a move, and not just any move. The biggest, most controversial name on the block, Tyreek Hill. Yes, you heard it right. The former NFL receiving leader, 5-time first-team All-Pro, one of the most dangerous deep threats in the history of the game. Tyreek Hill, the cheetah himself, has been floated as a possible trade target for Dallas. Imagine Hill in a star helmet, lined up with Pickens, waiting for Lamb to come back. The idea alone sends shivers through defensive coordinators. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Hill is currently under NFL investigation for allegations of domestic violence. These accusations, made by his ex-wife, have put his future in question. The league has not ruled on possible discipline, but any trade for Hill would be conditional, tied to whether he's available to play this season. A player of his caliber comes with superstar talent, but also baggage that could shake a locker room and a fan base. Let's be honest, Tyreek Hill is electric. He's one of the fastest men to ever step on a football field. He changes games with a single touch. In Miami, he's been putting up video game numbers, stretching defenses, forcing safeties to backpedal before the ball is even snapped. He's the kind of player that can make Dak Prescott look unstoppable, even without Lamb. He's the kind of player who turns broken plays into touchdowns. Every Cowboys fan knows what that could mean for an offense already ranked first in the NFL in pass attempts. But at what cost? This is not just about draft picks. Reports suggest his value might be around a 3rd rounder, maybe conditional up to a 2nd depending on production. That's not a crazy price for a generational talent. The cost, though, is measured in reputation, in headlines, in the distraction of carrying the weight of an investigation into your locker room. For a first-year head coach like Brian Schottenheimer, trying to establish a new culture, trying to steady a roster already shaken by injury, this is the last kind of storm you want to invite. And this is where the decision goes beyond football. Jerry Jones has always been bold, always loved the spotlight, always believed in star power. But sometimes being bold means saying no. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is trusting the guys you already have, betting on their growth, keeping the locker room focused, and showing your fan base that you won't sacrifice integrity for a short-term splash. Because let's not forget, Lamb is coming back. He's not out for the year. He's not gone forever. He's sidelined, healing, fighting to return. And when he does, the Cowboys get their star back, their weapon back, their anchor back. The question is not whether we survive without him forever, but whether we can hold the line until he's back. George Pickens has to rise to the occasion. This is his shot to prove he's not just hype, not just sideline tantrums and contested catches, but a consistent, reliable threat. Jalen Tolbert, drafted with expectations years ago, now has the chance to silence doubters and carve his name into the offense. And don't forget about KaVontae Turpin, the speedster who has mostly been a special teams ace. He's got the wheels to take the top off defenses if Schottenheimer schemes him into the offense. This is a chance for Dallas to showcase depth, to show resilience, to prove that one injury, even to a superstar, doesn't sink a season. And then there's the run game. Javonte Williams, averaging 5.3 yards per carry, has been a pleasant surprise. He's running with power, vision, and toughness. If defenses start keying on the pass without Lamb, then Schottenheimer has to lean on Williams more, pound the rock, control the clock, and give Dak easier second and third downs. The offensive line, despite injuries, must set the tone physically. If they do, Dallas can still win ugly games, still grind out victories, still keep themselves in the NFC playoff race. Now, let's address the defense. Yes, it's been rough. Yes, they're giving up 30 points per game. Yes, the third down defense ranks dead last. But this is where pride kicks in. This is where leaders like Trevon Diggs, Kenny Clark, and DeMarcus Lawrence have to rally the troops. This is where Brian Schottenheimer's staff has to simplify the calls, get guys playing faster, and remind them that bending doesn't have to mean breaking. A few key stops, a few forced turnovers, a little momentum, and suddenly this unit can start to swing games instead of sinking them. So where does this leave us? At a crossroads. The Tyreek Hill rumor is tempting, it's flashy, it's headline-grabbing, but it's also risky. And for once, Cowboys Nation, I'm here to say the right move might be the boring move. Don't chase the distraction. Don't tie this season's hopes to a player who may not even be eligible to play. Instead, trust the roster, trust the depth, trust the process. Let the young receivers prove themselves, lean on the run game, demand more from the defense, and hold the line until CeeDee Lamb comes back. Because here's the truth, Dallas doesn't need Tyreek Hill to win games. What Dallas needs is belief, discipline, and resilience. What Dallas needs is for George Pickens to catch the ball when it hits his hands, for Jalen Tolbert to run precise routes, for Javonte Williams to keep churning out tough yards, for Dak Prescott to stay poised, and for Brian Schottenheimer to keep this locker room united. That's how you turn a rough September into a red-hot December. Cowboys Nation, the sky is not falling. The season is not lost. It's a test, a brutal test, but one we can pass. And when Lamb returns, when the offense is whole again, this stretch of adversity will be the story we point to and say, that's where the Cowboys became battle-hardened. That's where they learned who they were. That's where they earned their edge. So I'll finish with this. Do you want Tyreek Hill in a Cowboys uniform despite the baggage? Or do you want to see this roster fight, claw, and grow until CD comes back? Drop your thoughts below because this is your team, your voice, your nation. And if you're riding with me through every rumor, every heartbreak, every victory, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Because one thing is for sure, the Dallas Cowboys story this season isn't over. It's just getting started. One star, one dream, one fight. Cowboys forever.